Hey guys, how's it going? Kulprit here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the other maps that we know about. Now, we don't know a lot about them, we just know they exist. Clearly we know about Siege of Shanghai and Paracel Storm. We do also know about the Second Assault DLCs. I'm not really going to talk about those too much here, but in case you don't know, they've pretty much been about 99% confirmed through the trailers that it's going to be Caspian Border, Operation Metro, Gulf of Oman, and Operation Firestorm. Now, I'll probably make a whole other video about these because there's a lot of confusion by me and a lot of people in the community about how they came about choosing these. I've just been trying to kind of wait until we hear a little bit more about how maybe they chose these, because we know they did a poll and it seems like they completely disregarded that poll. So, but that's another topic for another day. Today I wanted to talk about two maps we know about through these trailers that are going to be new, brand new maps featuring Levolution elements that we've kind of come to learn a lot about, both through the tower collapsing in Shanghai and the boat crashing into the beach now in Paracel Storm. And, you know, some of you people might be like, well, why talk about maps we don't really know any details about? Well, because it's fun, you know, kind of letting your imagination kind of run a little bit and thinking about what the possibilities are. One map particularly, well, actually both of these. So let's just talk right about them. And the first map, I'm just going to put a working title on it. I'm going to call it Luton Dam. And why am I going to call it that? Because if you guys recall about, what was it, maybe a year ago, maybe even longer, DICE asked people to submit their map designs. You know, they're just some ideas, concepts, and things. And I know Luton, I don't remember the exact details. It was quite a while ago, but he certainly had a dam design that, you know, basically the basics was you blow up the dam, floods the city, changes the environment, and I believe it was one of the finalists. I think there was multiple winners, and I think he was one of them. So, you know, and it was kudos to him. Clearly reminiscent here. I don't know how much is going to be, you know, detail for detail, but that doesn't really matter. The concept's still the same, and I love the concept. And I think this could end up being kind of the flagship Levolution map. You know, what we've seen so far as the Levolution has been pretty and pretty cool, too, with the skyscraper falling and the boat kind of crashing into the island. But that's kind of singular events that affect a very, you know, local area. You know, the skyscraper comes down, that particular flag changes, but the rest of the map doesn't change so much. Sure, you got some dust flying around in these things, but, you know, it's very localized. Same with the boat crashing. It bisects the island. I think it makes it a little different to defend. There's a little anti-aircraft gun that becomes available to the team that controls that point. These things, again, very local. Whereas this dam map that we see, and I'm going to show you some pictures here that I'm overlaying for you to look, and this is how we kind of know these maps. They're not hiding it at all. It's pretty, you know, obvious to see. But as you see in these later pictures here with the boats in city streets, I mean, it's clearly flooded. You're riding these very fast attack boats, or the smaller ones, the RHIBs or something like that. Excuse me if I got that wrong. You obviously see a helicopter here, so there's air elements involved as well. But this is going to completely change that map. You know, I don't know if the whole city floods. I don't know exactly how the dynamics work, obviously, but very cool. This is not just a localized element. This is going to completely change the map. Something that would typically, I would imagine, be very, very tight CQB infantry-oriented fighting is now going to be a little more, you know, it's definitely going to be thrown a curveball with some boat elements. Obviously, helicopters are going to be used. What happens to the armor? Does that like wash away or just get destroyed? Very interesting things. Very excited about that. Can't wait to kind of learn more about that, but they might just be keeping this in their back pocket for release, which I think is probably good at this one. We know a lot about this game, and I do kind of want them, as bad as I want information, I want them to keep some secrets, you know. Now, map number 2 I'm going to put here, we really know even less about this, and I'm just kind of calling this one Industrial Wilderness. I don't know, and this one kind of, I think probably because we know the least about it, it kind of makes my imagination go. Here you see, you know, elements of a big industrial complex, like a factory kind of thing. You see the smokestack. The Levolution element seems to be that smokestack falling. And I actually had a thought that, you know, what would be really funny is if this was like, because they're doing Firestorm obviously for the Second Assault, if it was like Firestorm 30 years later and now instead of a desert it's woods and everything. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. This is going to be a different map. I envision this being like northern China area. I don't know, totally, you know, obviously I'm just speculating here. It looks very woodsy, very wildernessy, and that's what gets me excited, because I feel like we haven't had a true woods, a true wilderness, a true forest in a long time. And I'm not just talking like elements like on Caspian Border and maybe some of the other maps where you have little pockets of trees, these things that you can hide in. I'm talking about big forest, that you're running tree to tree, you know, big tree trunks everywhere. Use the tree trunks as cover. You know, bullets are splintering off wood. RPGs are ripping trees off of 15 meters high, and you got to look out for the trees falling down on you. I mean, that would be pretty incredible. That would be pretty cool. Now, that might be kind of taking me back to some of the airsoft videos I watch where guys are, you know, over in England are doing this and stuff. You know, but I'm talking about huge, old school forests with, you know, then you got some foxholes, some trenches, some bunkers. You know, old style warfare we haven't really seen. Now, we've seen a lot of desert. We're obviously going to get a lot of urban. I'm all for these things. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I just like to mix it up. And, you know, that color palette and just classic warfare as we think World War II kind of trench warfare, forests, you know, let's think France forest, that kind of thing. Like I said, this kind of strikes me as like almost Siberian. So northern, it would be northern China, you know, which borders along Russia there. I think it would be really cool. You know, with the Levolutions, obviously going to be something with this factory. And that's clearly looks like the focus, but I really hope, especially on like Rush, that some of the elements might be out in that forest that we see. Some of these trees, I think, would be really cool. Maybe like a dusky type time. I don't know. The possibilities are endless, obviously. We know very little about these, but these are just things that get my imagination running. And I wondered if you shared the same thoughts, or maybe you had some ideas. So let me know in the comments, guys, some of the ideas you had maybe for this dam map, as well as the kind of industrial wilderness, as I'm calling it. And, you know, just one other footnote that I'm watching Paracel Storm as you guys are in this live stream. I'm really curious how that's going to play out in Rush. You know, is it going to be basically assaulting individual islands for different MCOM stations? It's going to be pretty interesting because I don't see how else they would lay it out. It's going to probably be attacking, controlling an island, getting the MCOMs, then moving on and attacking another island. It's going to be very interesting. So what do you guys think? What do you think they're going to do with these maps? Would you like to see kind of a wilderness map style like I'm talking about, tree to tree trunk, cover to cover, you know, accuracy reigns the day, and, you know, kind of just wood chips, everything flying. And I know we're all excited about the dam and the flooding, and just that's just going to be a complete environment turned upside down. It's pretty exciting stuff. Like always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you're new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stick with me. There's going to be tons of Battlefield content coming up, particularly Battlefield 4 as we get closer to release. And then, of course, the dam is going to burst and the videos are going to flood out just as soon as we hit release at the end of October. Take care, guys.